So there's a mother in BC who is pleading for Justin Trudeau to call out the Lebanese government to try and release her two kids that her husband abducted illegally and brought to Lebanon. But because we know we don't have these extradition laws between the two countries, we can't bring this guy to Canada. But even though Trudeau could be using his voice, Chrystia Freeland could go on Twitter and do what she usually does to countries like Saudi Arabia and all these other countries and call out Lebanon and tell them to release these two kids back to the mother because the father took them illegally and they broke Canadian law. But so far from what the mother is saying, the Trudeau administration, the government has done practically nothing to help them. And it's funny, you see how they're willing to go and call out Saudi Arabia with people who are not even Canadian citizens. They're willing to bring that other girl into Canada and push Australia out of the way and take her instead. We're always calling this stuff out, but this Canadian woman whose kids are being stolen by her fucking ex and brought to Lebanon, no, he's not going to say anything. And why is that? Why isn't he going to say anything? Well, I Googled Lebanese Canada, Lebanon, Canada. And, you look at the stats, and they are by far, the largest Arab group in Canada. They're according to the 2011 census, there were 190,000 Canadians who claimed Lebanese ancestry, having an increase compared to those in 2006 census, making them by far the largest group of people with Arabic-speaking roots. So that number is probably grown since 2011 to probably a substantial number, and a lot of them are French-speaking, and they live in Ottawa and a lot of these liberal-type cities. So why do you think Trudeau is not willing to call out Lebanon for the sake of this woman and her two children? Why is he not helping them and condemning them and whatnot? Because he needs these people to vote for him. He's not going to call them out, and this is another problem with multiculturalism. We get all these people into our country from different countries, and then our Canadian citizens get fucked by people in their countries, and we have politicians unwilling to say anything about it for fear of losing votes from likely Lebanese people. Why didn't he call out Pakistan with that Asia Bibi girl and all that stuff with the bullshit charges that she was facing? And yeah, she's not a Canadian citizen, but neither were those other people apprehended in Saudi Arabia. And another excuse that they say, oh, we don't want to ruin her chances of getting the kids or whatnot. Well, that's all bullshit, because they didn't care about putting those people in Saudi Arabia in more danger, because when they came out and Chrystia Freeland came out to their defense, they actually suffered more after that, and they were made pretty much an example of by the Saudi Arabian government because Chrystia Freeland and stuff came out and did all this stuff. So, we have a lot less to lose calling out Lebanon than we did Saudi Arabia. There's a lot less trade going on, a lot less money exchanging hands between Canada and Lebanon. But there is a huge Lebanese population in Canada, and as we know, the majority of immigrants, regardless of where you are from, likely vote left, and a lot of these people are probably Muslim to a large extent. They're going to vote left. I don't know, maybe some of them are Christians, because I know there's a bunch of Christian Lebanese that came here, between the 70s and 90s and stuff. But, it's fucked up. We did a lot of stuff for Lebanon. I was looking at this, and it said Canada and Australia were the only Western countries to set up a special programs to enable Lebanese to more easily immigrate. Canada set up an office in Cyprus to process Lebanese refugees, after their civil war. So we've done quite a fucking bit for the Lebanese people. You would think Trudeau could come out and call out their government, without any fear of retribution. But that's probably why he's not doing it, why he's not calling them out. Plus, this woman is white. She's not Muslim. The guy who stole her kids is probably a Muslim. So it's like, I'm going to stay away from this with a 10-foot pole. There's no point of even addressing it. But it's just funny to see how this woman is pleading and begging. The Canadian government is not even helping her go through the court system in Beirut that's like extremely different. She's like, she feels left alone with her lawyer. She's like, she feels trapped. Essentially, she ultimately feels trapped handling the situation alone with her lawyer. She worries she'll be leaving her beloved children behind when she flies home later this month, barring a high-level intervention from her own government, including a personal push from Trudeau. Nobody's doing anything, Bayak said. I feel like the Prime Minister just doesn't care enough to do something for his own two citizens. And, that it speaks volumes that, yes, he's not even willing to call this out for this woman whose husband committed a crime in Canada, taking these kids illegally. And I think these kids were initially born in Lebanon, but they came here since 2010. And since her mom is a citizen, or their mom is a citizen, they're probably citizens too of Canada. So it's like even more of a reason to call them out. But like I said, there's no point. He's not going to get any votes from this. He's not going to get any good brownie points. If anything, people are going to be like, oh, he's an Islamophobe, and he'll lose support from the left and stuff. But, he's only going to call out people like Saudi Arabia because that was, because Saudi Arabia is seen to be Trump's ally, essentially. And that's like, okay, he's going to call out North Korea, Russia and this, but he's going to essentially let China just completely fuck us completely and all these other countries take advantage of us because he's just a weak, poor leader who does not have the best interest of Canadians at heart. And this is a good example because this would be very easy for him to make a public statement to the government of Lebanon to release these fucking children. Same with Chrystia Freeland and all this stuff. Be very, very easy. Like I said, there's not nearly as much trade going on between Canada and Lebanon, if there's even any. I don't even know. Than there was, I know for a fact, between Canada and Saudi Arabia, or America, right? He's willing to call out Trump and for the stupidest shit. But no, he's not going to say anything about this. Not going to even try to attempt it. And they're going to make excuses and all this bullshit. But like I said, if you look at the demographics, these are the largest Arabic speaking groups in Canada, and they probably all vote fucking left. They all probably vote liberal, the majority of them. So why would he call them out? But like I said, this is multiculturalism for you. The more we have these groups coming in, the less likely our government is going to stand up against people who are fucking us over, like China, like Lebanon right now, and like all these other countries. They're going to be less willing to say it because there's a large segment of those people living in Canada who may get offended by that, who may now not vote for you because of that, and who don't. A lot of people are tribalistic, nationalistic, even though they come from their original country, and just, they come from, Lebanon. They're still going to like Lebanon, and they're still going to hold, have more allegiance to Lebanon. This is why we got to take away voting rights from people unless they've been here for probably 3 generations. And same with being in office and bureaucracy. If you want to come to Canada, you have to wait. You have to be here for 3 generations so we can ensure that your children have an allegiance to Canada and Canadians, and who are not going to be pissed off when we attack your home country, right? Like my ancestors came from France. I could care less if people say shit about fucking France and whatnot. If we had trade disputes with France, I'm not going to be like, well, this is insulting the French people, and now I'm going to, not vote for you anymore, you know. I'm going to be like, yeah, fuck France right now. Fuck them. I'm Canadian. But a lot of people, we got to understand, they don't think like that immediately when they come to the country. So it's not a good idea to give them positions of power and let them vote and all this other stuff. Because then, once again, like I said, you let them vote. Now you have politicians like Trudeau unwilling to call out, to condemn different governments because they fear the impact that could have on them potentially winning another election. But, you know, this is sad. Hopefully this woman gets her kids back, but I have no faith whatsoever that Trudeau is really going to say anything unless we put more and more pressure on him. And, you know, that is something that you could do. Call your MPs, because that is bullshit. This woman should get her kids back. She was stupid for dating a guy and marrying a guy from Lebanon. Like, hopefully you learned your fucking lesson next time. But still, you know, if we're going to do all this shit, if we're going to bring this girl from Saudi Arabia into Canada and give her fucking private security that the government is going to pay for, because they're like, no, this other group is going to pay for it. But that other group, if you look into it, they're completely funded by the government. So it's we're going to pay for it. But we're not going to spend any extra resources, maybe sending some lawyers to help with this fucking lady, or even just making a fucking tweet on Twitter. How fucking easy would that be? But they're not going to do it because they don't care for you. They don't have our best interests at heart. But that's all I had to say. If you like my content, subscribe and have a good day. See ya.